Alfred 2.0 live demo. So today is going to be a quick session where we are jumping right into some new features.
Yep.
There we go. So Laura, you're the host.
Yes.
Why don't you take us through the agenda?
Absolutely. So welcome everybody. Thank you very much for being here. It's great to have you. So today, Luca will be deep diving into Alfred's new features, such as the voice-to-text transcription, executive summary, next steps, all in Salesforce. And it even now does a follow-up email that is ready to send directly in Salesforce. And this will be for about 15 minutes and also be an opportunity to go into the additional planned features that's coming up for Alfred in the next few months. So definitely stay tuned for that. And for the moment, I'll ask you all to remain on mute and to put any of your questions for the Q&A in the chat box, which I'll be monitoring, so we can share it all in the 10-minute Q&A session later in this webinar demo. So yes, I think that's all from this page, Luca.
Fantastic. So let me just give you a sense of what we do here at Nativevideo. I think you already know if you joined this webinar, but just to refresh your memory, we are on a mission to transform the way in which companies and their customers create and share information in Salesforce. And you'll see that Alfred kind of delivers on that promise, or takes us a step closer to delivering on that promise with our #1 media app on the App Exchange. We thought to kind of bring to you an overview of Alfred for 30 seconds using Simon Sinek's famous start with why approach. And thinking about the golden circle at the core of why you want Alfred and you want to use Alfred is because it's a fantastic productivity hack for your Salesforce, and it delivers great quality data, a new level of quality data inside your Salesforce that actually has the ability, therefore, to transform customer insights. And also we'll see with Alfred the ability to connect and engage with employees in a much better way. And we'll see how that's possible. So what's the how within the golden circle? Well, it's the things that makes Alfred special. And what makes it special is that the audio-based input is the way in which we will enter data. So no more typing across our organization to get updates across your Salesforce. You'll see that it's mobile and desktop ready, that automates updates and adds context. And then it's powered by our media app, as I was mentioning. And then the what we'll actually explore in the demo more in details. And there's a couple of points there that you can review directly. I want to fly through this because I think you're dying to see the demo. And this is kind of setting the context for our live demo. What you'll see is the combination of the most powerful GPT, large language model solution that is out there, powered by API, our solution right in the middle, and obviously the platform with Salesforce supporting all of our solution. And as we set the context for our live demo, I just have, kind of a scene, a story that we're telling is about our friend Kevin. You might actually remember him from our last webinar. He is a sales rep for Acme, and he's just had a great meeting with one of his customers or one of his prospects, and he's walking away. As you see, he's leaving the building and he's walking back to his car. And thanks to Alfred, we empower him to bring a wealth of information and to boost his productivity back into Salesforce. So let me actually show you what's happening. You saw he was staring at his phone, and this is Kevin's phone. So he can go to his Salesforce, maybe navigate directly to his contacts, as I'm doing right here. And then his meeting was with Michael. So he goes to Michael contact, opens it up, and then within this, he can find a new button that brings Alfred to life in his operations, in his processes. And you can see the button right there. It says, "Hey, Alfred," and it's kind of, wink, wink to the Siri approach. And as we tap on "Hey, Alfred," we launch our audio recording. So this is where we create the input. And the input will be likely, what's happened, what have we discussed during the meeting with Michael as we walk back to our car. And let me actually do that live with you. So I tap on start recording, and the audio recording will start. Okay, just met with Michael. He shared their requirements, and at the moment they're focused on trying to get more productivity across their Salesforce operations. They also want to get deeper, more contextualized data within their Salesforce, the data that they bring back from the field, from their customers' interaction. And also they want to find a way to engage better across their organization, especially now that they move to a fully remote team. Now, I had the opportunity to show our technology. They were particularly impressed with our ability through the audio technology to meet their requirements. And we've agreed on a couple of next steps. And one is to share the link to get Alfred for free forever with our 4F promise. And the other one is to share the invitation for our upcoming event here in London, the App Exchange Live, happening in May in London. So that will be my quick debrief. As you can see, I've just a data dump from my brain, or maybe reading from my notes as I follow up from my event. As you saw, there was the audio was captured. There was an immediate transcription in front of me, helping me to kind of maybe quickly read through it. But as I've been using Alfred for some time, I actually trust that even if there were, some spelling mistakes, or maybe, it was actually a stream of consciousness, there wasn't a lot of, punctuation or a lot of, kind of coherence in what I was actually reporting back by my audio note. I actually trust the system to help make sense of it. And we will see that, Alfred will do its magic. And as a matter of fact, let me, refresh this this contact here, and you will see that, we start to see some of that information traveling back into our Salesforce. And we'll actually switch over to the desktop in a second just to see it both on mobile and in Salesforce. So the first thing that we notice is that we've now created within the record connected to Michael. And again, just as an example, we use the contact, but Alfred can be activated in a lead, in an opportunity, maybe as part of the activities within an opportunity. It could be activated and these type of data can be recorded and reported in an account. So across multiple different objects and multiple different types of records. But the first thing that we noticed is that this information is being captured directly in Salesforce, and immediately we see the running user. So it was me, right, impersonating Kevin, our sales guy, walking away from a meeting with our clients. And we have a timestamp and a date stamp. And most importantly, we already have the audio readily available for us, and we can play it back directly in there, kind of maybe jump to, minutes or to, 30 seconds in to get a better sense of what we recorded. But as we switch back to our, this way, as we switch back to our desktop version, we can go back to our Michael. And we will see that, the same information is now being captured and reported also on desktop. So once again, we have the running user and a timestamp and a date stamp there. And then you can see maybe a bit better here, the magic is in progress. So let me give it a quick refresh as we now have created a note, and the magic has happened. So Alfred has done its work, homework that we assigned to it, and let's actually go through, the different kind of productivity hacks that Alfred has been able to unlock for us. So the first thing that we notice here is, as I mentioned, that we had the running user, the audio, and the time date stamp, but we also have an interesting sentiment assigned to this note. And in this particular context, Alfred deemed this update as a neutral. So it was, positive, it wasn't, neither positive nor negative. It was, neutral. So, there's a path, they're interested, there's progress that was made here. But most importantly, right here in the executive summary, we can read, and, you might be, reading it, and let me make it maybe bigger for you. This component is now highlighting an executive summary. So it's actually telling the story in a much more concise way than what I was blabbing about as I was walking back from my meeting. And it's captured the core of the information that I shared back in my Salesforce. And this is, super useful in the context of, someone reading this and, a collaboration element where, different people are looking at this particular contact and they want to make sense of what's been, the core of the conversation. We then have, if I switch to the second tab, you can see that we have a follow-up tab where next steps are actually captured individually. And we also have the opportunity to tick them off individually. So Alfred has identified a few next steps, a few actions that need to happen out of this conversation with the client. We can actually go through them very quickly and hey, increase productivity. If you activate Alfred, you have it. Deeper, more contextualized data, definitely Alfred delivering on those. Find a way to engage better, again, Alfred to engage. And now, a couple more steps that I need to probably take care of outside of this context, and they are maybe not ticked already because they are on my follow-up list. Now, I mentioned about a couple of enhancements, and Laura introduced the idea of, can we help with productivity hack our sales rep or our customer success manager to follow up by creating an email that is drafted for them, ready to take and bring into an email communication, and then just close the loop with our clients, keeping the momentum with this conversation that seems to be on track as we are reporting back to our Salesforce. And as you can read here, based on my quick 45 seconds of debrief, this has created an email that is, if it's not exactly ready, because maybe a couple of things in who's speaking and who is Michael, but this is ready, and it's 80% where it needs to be to help me do my job better as the sales rep that needs to follow up. This email to follow up on our recent meeting. We discussed your requirements, productivity across increasing productivity, your Salesforce, obtaining deeper contextualized data, and enhancing engagement. During our meeting, we had the opportunity to showcase technology we believe meets your requirements. So let's move forward. I have to follow up with a couple of steps. Let me know if there's any question or concern. We look forward to hearing from you very soon. And as you probably can imagine, I can actually go in and edit it. Maybe I just do this and kind of change it right here. And when I'm ready, I can just copy it. And let me go back to full screen. So I can copy. Now it's in my clipboard. I can bring it into my email, my Gmail, my Outlook, and send it off. And I'm ready in 30 seconds. Not only I captured, I enriched my information that I shared in Salesforce, but I also kind of close the loop with them. Now, the transcription is probably exactly what you expect, is the the full text, which is kind of there to help me maybe follow through. And if the executive summary is not clear, or if there's more detail that I want to go to, I can go to the transcription directly. Now I'll stop for a second. I saw a couple of maybe people asking questions. I don't know if we want to take questions now. If not, I'll kind of close the loop on another couple of things that we're working on, and then we can switch on to the questions.
That sounds good.
What do you think?
Save this question for the Q&A, which will be in a few minutes. That's okay, Luca?
Oh, absolutely, perfect. So just to close the loop, so recapping, sales, customer success, any client interaction, be that in person, some of our clients are actually asking to use this also as there's an email exchange that is not in Salesforce, and there's something changing there that is worth bringing in Salesforce. So again, a quick way, just like saying it, we can bring it in Salesforce and kind of complete and keep everybody up to date across the organization using Alfred. Any channel, obviously, so long as we we create the input through this. Couple of enhancements that we're working on. One is transforming the next steps here, promoting them to tasks. Salesforce tasks, they are there to help us keep track of our next steps and keep the ball rolling on things that need to happen. So It's a relatively straightforward thing for us to do. And imagine, if you had these two that need to be done, transform it in task, put in your calendar, and then you know that you're on top of it, and nothing is falling through the cracks. Another interesting enhancement that some of our clients required is the ability for this solution dropped in an object where there are multiple pick lists to automatically select from the pick list the one that answers the best, the question best. The example being, if you imagine Alfred in an activity connected to an opportunity, for instance, a sales rep will have to go back in and leave their notes. But that doesn't stop there. For a lot of companies, they want to contextualize a bit better the note and understand what type of meeting was it. Was it in person? Was it a phone call? Was it a video call? And they want that to be, kind of selected from a pick list. We know that Alfred is capable of selecting automatically and suggesting which of the pick lists should be automatically populated. And that's, an enhancement that we're working on. Another example for another company is that they want to keep track of the type of products that are discussed in with customers and with prospects. And that's, again, another long pick list where Alfred can automatically suggest which ones are relevant because they were mentioned in the debrief by the Salesforce user. The other enhancement...
a quick question, sorry, Luca. Is there...
Please.
Can people get it today? Is there an option for people to get it today? Alfred,
this solution?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's exactly why we're launching the webinar. This is available. It's been approved by the App Exchange. We're waiting to go live momentarily. It will happen this week. Well, fingers crossed. For safety, maybe I should say next week. But the package is ready and it's been approved, so it's ready to be installed in your org. And actually, as we come out of this, and I kind of close the loop. Well, actually, why don't we come out of it and you just show the slide so that we suggest how people can get it for free with our 4F promise. There we go. So this is making it clearer. You can go in slideshow so that it's even bigger. There, fantastic. So you can scan this QR code or directly go to nativevideo.co/Alfred-registration. And this is where you register. You can leave your details there. And we will send you the instructions on how to install Alfred for free. And as you see on screen, it comes with our 4F promise. So this is, first 5 free forever. So those are the 4 Fs, and we're quite excited to bring you this solution for free. So take advantage, kind of install it today and make the most of it on us. So what else? Oh yeah, a couple of questions maybe that were.
Yes, we do have a few questions in the chat box. First off, we have one about the summaries generated based on the transcription or audio. Is asked by Sergu. Apologies if I pronounce anyone's name wrong. So is the summary generated based on the transcription or audio? And what's the precision of generated summary?
Sorry, what was the second part of the question?
What's the precision? So how precise is the generated summary?
So very good questions, actually, Sergio. The first, to answer the first one, the summary is actually generated via the transcription. So we capture the audio as the input, and then we use the transcription to do most, or to ask GPT to do most of the work. So that's the answer there. In terms of the precision, in our experience, in the experience of the clients that have been using the beta version, it's very precise. It's quite impressive, I have to say, in the way that it's capable of creating capturing the information and creating a summary, a precise summary. The fallback plan, or the plan B, is always to go back and edit. There's the edit button, and you can quickly change if you reading through it. Maybe there's a misspelling of a name. That's something that we've found through some of our tests.
And we actually have a few questions about service and field
Yep.
service.
Yes.
Can the recordings be logged in objects such as cases? And could Alfred be used in the SF community as well? And that's a little bit more to do with Salesforce, rather, sorry. So the first one is, can Alfred be recorded in cases? And the second one is about, can it be used in the Salesforce community? I'm assuming like Slack and things like that.
So very good questions, both. Yes, it can be recorded as part of cases, and that's actually a very good use case that we're exploring with a couple of our clients in terms of capturing very quickly, maybe wrapping up a case or capturing the information after a conversation with a client that happens maybe on multiple channels, a bit on email and a bit on live agent, and then bringing it all together for the engineers to understand the context of the requirement, or kind of add more information to it. So yes to recording and having Alfred operate in a case. And the second question, yes, it can operate also through a community or digital experience for sure. That will be interesting to explore the use case there. We see with one of our clients a very interesting use case for field users who are called upon reporting back what's happening in the field, maybe during a visit or throughout their repair or maintenance work. And this again can be added to a field service experience as well. I wanted to add one thing, as I see that there's a few people like me that where English may not be the first language. It's as a great enhancement for Alfred, we're now supporting virtually any language across the globe. So Alfred is capable of detecting the language automatically. So we can record an Alfred note or have our Salesforce users record in their own native language, and then ask Alfred to bring the information back, the executive summary and all the related information back in Salesforce in English. So empowering foreign speaking like me with an accent to actually speak in their own language that comes more natural to them, contextualize in their own way, and then ask Alfred to do the heavy lifting, not only to understand and translate, but also to bring all that information back in Salesforce.
Okay, and just one more thing
question.
is that where is the audio saved? And then we'll get to the key takeaways, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. The audio is saved in our AWS instance. So we create a separate instance for every client, and that will be where the audio is securely stored and streamed directly from there after a security check to connect with the Salesforce org. And that is done, obviously, as you appreciate, so that we don't clog Salesforce with large amounts of data. Salesforce is not designed to handle large sets of data.
Okay. And now just some key takeaways from the session today. You can get Alfred directly using the QR code on screen as well. And also Alfred is a productivity, data quality, and employee engagement solution to help boost all those areas as well. And the newest features and functionalities, as you've seen from Luca's great demo today, was the executive summary next steps would now follow-up email and multi-language support. And you can get Alfred, as I mentioned before, free today with our 4F promise, where you can have first 5 users have Alfred free forever. Was there anything else you'd like to add, Luca, quickly?
There was another question about controlling access and visibility, yes. And I think that's a straightforward answer is absolutely yes. The way it works, being built natively within your org, the visibility will be controlled by the parent record, or the parent record will control who gets access to the record, and therefore controls if who gets access to using Alfred, but also the visibility or the access to the information that Alfred brings back inside the org. I hope that answers the question. Again, do scan the QR code get to understand a bit more about what's happening when you improve dramatically the productivity of your Salesforce users and you contextualize a lot more data within your Salesforce.
Yeah, so if you have any further questions or want to know more about Alfred via a demo perhaps, please do get in touch with us directly via our emails. And thank you very much again. But I do think we have just about a few more minutes for the final question. Does the client able to choose the geographical region of AWS where it will be stored, where the data of the user will be stored?
That's a very good question. So I'm keen to answer it, although we are at the top of the 30 minutes. But yes, that's a very good question, because as a matter of fact, we can select which region so that it's not only close to the org or reflect where the org is set, but also compliant, obviously, with the local data regulations. So the answer is yes. We have US, a couple of locations across the US territory, and obviously APAC with Asia Pacific region as well. And I think we'll let people go. If you want to drop, we'll stay on maybe if there are more questions for another couple of minutes. Thank you for attending. Looking forward to activating Alfred in your org.
Yes, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for your time. It was great to see you. And you will get a recording in your email and a follow-up after this demo. So stay tuned for that in your inbox. And thank you very much for coming.
Super. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.